today I'm going to sing the praises of one of my least favorite champions. Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we are going to talk about Scyl of the Drakes, and I'm sure if you heard the intro to today's video, you're going to say least favorite champion. What are you talking about, man? That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, I am not the biggest fan of Scyl of the Drakes, to be completely honest with you guys. I've made other videos on this on the past. I'm not trying to debate that particular stance in this video. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys that despite the fact that I am not her biggest fan, she has won me over with her usefulness in one area of the game. And so I'm going to give a couple of shout outs real quick. One is to Bront Cat Herder. Bront has been on the channel a couple of times, been over on his channel as well, and he has basically, informed me on where I've gone wrong on Scyl of the Drakes. But I also wanted to give a shout out to MXPJE. I was in his chat just the other day, and somebody in his chat, and I apologize that I don't remember who it was, but I remember telling them in the moment, hey, you're my inspiration for a video, because they were complaining about Amius on hard for Cursed City. They were having a hard time getting Amius down on hard. Listen up, I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free-to-play adventure and get a free Elenaril, as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. And I made this recommendation as a comment, but I don't know that it, was really gonna hit that hard. But I wanted to shout out Scyl for this particular rotation of Amius. You guys can see behind me kind of what the roster options are. Let me just take out this guy so you can kind of see roughly what champions you can and cannot use, right? But Scyl of the Drakes for this particular rotation is very, very hard to replace. She's very, very effective here, and it's because of her heal. So let's go over her kit very quickly. Just most of us know, right? She's a free login champion. We all get her, but let's go over the kit very quickly. A1 has a chance to decrease speed, kind of low compared to others these days. But it is an A1, so there's definitely value there. For the A2, chance to stun, but these days there's a lot of 100% chances to stun. We have a single target revive with a single ally protection on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. That's okay. But then for the passive, heals all allies by 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn and places increased speed buff on a random ally for 2 turns. Now the increased speed, not really relevant. Good, help, extra. But really it's that healing that makes a huge, huge difference. And we're not here to talk about the build. The build that's on her is actually probably for Faction Wars, to be completely honest with you, just to try and, or maybe some, or actually no, it was probably for a room in Cursed City. I don't remember, but yeah, she's really high accuracy right now, so I'm assuming I had her built for some kind of thing that needed her to have accuracy. I don't have the faintest idea what that was, but it was a build that I put on her in the past. So why do I value her for hard Amius is because of that heal, like I mentioned, right? Now, granted, I do have Androck, does bring some healing, and this isn't going to be like a super big guide to Amius. I've tried making guides. I never put them out, and it's a really difficult. Maybe I did put one out finally. I've recorded. I don't know if I ever released one or not, but Amius is really, really frustrating, and it's hard to make a guide because what people want from a guide is going to be like a cookie cutter, like use these 5 champions, right? And that's not always the case, right? Gear makes a difference, masteries make a difference. There's a lot that goes into this. I know that you could say that for anything, right? But if you look at the videos that I've done, I've only ever really made a guide for the Phantom Shogun Grove team, because that's a set in stone team. You really can't get around that one too much, and those are ones that I like. So making one for Amius is a little bit challenging because it's so like RNG heavy. I'm just not a big fan of Amius, but I do beat him consistently every week and happy with that. So But I wanted to highlight Scyl for those of you that are struggling. We only have, what is it, a couple days now? We only have 1 week and 1 day left in Cursed City, and if you are trying to get your first Amius hard kill, or maybe your second, or maybe you've never been able to kill it on this rotation, like this person was doing over in PJ's chat, I recommended Scyl because Scyl is very, very good at just bringing heals without any other stuff, which can be frustrating. One of the first ways I tried to beat this boss was with Ancora. Ancora is a fusion champion that a lot of us did back in the day. The problem is that Ancora has a passive reset on her A1, which Amius, when you reset, Amius will mess you up. So because she resets cooldowns or reduces cooldowns, she is a bit of a problem. Now, I have a deeper roster than the first time I did this, and so I could probably get away without necessarily bringing Scyl. I would also probably have a lot of success bringing Empress as well, because of mythicals being very, very good in Amius. Probably my most important guide I would give anybody is if you're doing a rotation and your mythical is usable in that rotation, use them. They avoid one of his major mechanics, right? In the fact that whenever he puts everyone to sleep, they just transform and they get to keep taking their turns. So, and being able to automatically have your transformation is actually quite a bit handy in this. So I love it when Amius makes them transform. And I'm like, oh, cool. They were out of cooldowns anyways. And then a couple turns later, he transforms them back. And it's like, oh, cool. Got my cooldowns back. So either way, let's stay on topic. Sorry, guys. I'm a little off topic here. So the big thing for me is that Scyl of the Drakes can bring just good healing without the fluff, without any of the issues. So you're not bringing buffs that might get stolen. You're not bringing a lot of debuffs that would get turned into buffs. There's, it can be difficult sometimes to find the right support to make Amius work. And I ran into that because before I didn't have Kaja, who is part of this. Like, you could bring Kaja, probably okay. But the issue for me is I just didn't have Kaja. And when I finally got her, she wasn't built. I actually, for the longest time, was using an Archer Queen as my healer, but one of the problems I run into with Archer Queen is that if she's crowd controlled, or if Hex got removed or wasn't placed or whatever, she doesn't heal. I've found the consistency in Scyl because my only requirement is that she takes a turn and we get that healing, even if she's stunned, even if she's slept, even whatever the case may be. As long as she gets her turn, even if it goes away, we still get that heal. Now, I think they said that Doom Priest is in this rotation, which they are. You can see here Doom Priest kind of does the same thing that Scyl does, but I feel like the value of the heal might be a little bit lower. Yeah, 7.5% of their HP. She does also bring that cleanse, which can come in handy, but so Doom Priest is potentially an option, but I've just had so much luck with Scyl and her heal. It has been very, very handy for this particular rotation. So I just wanted to give that a shout out, right? And then I'll try to do like a brief overview. Like I said, be nice to me in the comments, guys. You know who I'm talking to. He's literally typing a comment right now before I even... He's typing a comment to yesterday's video right now. That's what he's doing. He knows I love him, and he knows who he is. Okay. But some things I would avoid for this particular rotation. Let's just talk about the roster and the rotation. How about that? Let's just do that. Okay. Obviously, I think if you bring your mythicals, you're going to be in luck. Just make sure they don't have cooldown resets, because if they self-reset, you can run into problems. And I don't remember if Empress has one or not. So I just recently got him. I didn't use him in this rotation, or maybe I did. I don't remember who was in this spot a second ago. But one thing I would avoid is don't use Ninja. Ninja is a great boss killer. Thing to be careful about. I mean, I guess you could just not use one of his abilities when you talk about Ninja, because Ninja has you have to not use or turn off the A3, because if the A3 is used, it reduces the cooldown of Hailburn, and that will trigger his adverse reaction to cooldowns. So I would avoid Ninja. I think Rathalos is very, very good here. I think a strong A2 out of Rathalos, especially after he gets kind of built up over the course of a fight, right? When he gets to the 200% more damage, if you can line that up with this, you're going to get a really big hard hit out of him. There's definitely some really good damage dealers. I think Syl's a good support, and you just kind of want to bring what you can to just kind of survive. It can be very challenging, of course, right? Amius is very hard. He just flat out is. They do a lot of damage. He does a lot of damage. So you're going to need healing. You might want a little reviving in there. Scyl covers that, at least for me. She has, like, I swear to you, like, I know it seems kind of crazy when I have a pretty deep roster of supports here, but I had a very, very difficult time beating this particular rotation of hard not that long ago, maybe a couple months ago. This rotation, I was just like, I can't do it, sorry. And then I tried it with Scyl on the recommendation of, it's probably about a year, on the recommendation of Bront. He said that Scyl is very, very good in this floor of Amius, and I was building my team, and I was like, well, Bront said Scyl was good. Why don't we try that? The gear she's in now is not the gear that I put her in at that time, but I put her in some gear, and I was like, oh yeah, look at this. This is very consistent healing for very high amounts too. Like, she healed a lot, and I was very, very happy with it. And I wanted to share that information with you guys because it actually did change the game for me. Since then, I've gained far more mythicals, of course. I've gained a bigger roster, so this was definitely a while ago that I started implementing this. But when I saw that comment, my first thing was, you should use Scyl, because she just does what a lot of the other champions in this realm can do, but maybe a little bit better when it comes to the healing and the supporting and the stuff that you're looking for. So that's my recommendation, guys. If you're struggling and you haven't given Scyl a try in here, I recommend giving her a try. Please be nice in the comments about my dislike of Scyl. It's a personal thing. I'm not saying you have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. You think what you want to think. I don't care. I'm just telling you that I personally am not the biggest fan of her. I think she either needs a buff, or maybe we need to get her a little bit earlier, just with how quickly the meta runs these days. But again, that's a video for another day. Let me know in the comments if you want that video, because I'd be glad to have that discussion. Maybe we bring Bront back over on the channel to have the debate once again. But he did convince me about her usefulness. He brought me around on her, and I do value her a little bit more than I used to, but still not my favorite champion. So, all right, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I really do hope this helps people with Amius. I understand this isn't how a video to help somebody with Amius goes, and a little note for my editor: please don't make this be like, this is the biggest, full Amius guide. It's like, yeah, this is about Scyl. We're talking about Scyl and what she can do in this one area, and why I think that why I keep her built just for Amius hard. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It is the best way to support my channel, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care.